Jaina blinks in utter disbelief, her bright blue eyes wide with shock as the world shifts around her. Yearns explains that the other clans are suspicious, coldly stating that Jaina's presence has become a dangerous liability. With a sudden turn, Yearns walks away while Jaina runs after her, desperate to understand why she's being abandoned. Holding her doll tightly, Jaina asks about her future, while Yearns suggests seeking out the human who shares her blood. A majestic vision of Diamid Belafanian appears, leaving Jaina completely stunned by the reveal of her biological father's identity. Yearns' gaze remains piercing as she tells Jaina to find the human man who might protect her as his daughter. A massive purple wing snaps open with a sharp crack as Yearns prepares to depart, addressing Jaina one last time. With a powerful whoosh, Yearns takes flight, leaving Jaina alone on the cliffside to face an uncertain, lonely world. Standing at the mouth of the cave, Jaina realizes that this specific situation was never part of the original story. Tucking her hair behind her ear, Jaina reflects on the unexpected timing of her eventual encounter with the villainous Diamid. Jaina recalls the novel's lore where Diamid is destined to become the world's ultimate villain and her own father. The legendary novel, The Sword of Vengeance, is introduced, depicting a golden-haired hero destined for a dark path. In the story's climax, the protagonist Rosian seeks brutal revenge on Diamid for the murder of his beloved mother. A memory of Jaina's past life surfaces, showing a bruised girl finding solace in the very book she now inhabits. The narration describes Diamid as a legendary mage who became corrupted after purging every ounce of his human emotion. Visual fragments reveal Diamid's tragic fall from a respected hero to a man abandoned and falsely accused of a crime. Overcome by absolute despair, Diamid kneels within a glowing magic circle, his power spiraling out of control in the darkness. A purple heart is bound by heavy magical chains, signifying the moment he chose to seal his emotions away forever. A heavy dun-dun thuds in the silence as Diamid adopts a hollow, terrifying expression after discarding his capacity for love. Diamid's corruption leads him to a path of slaughter, where he eventually watches his own daughter die without feeling anything. Hooded and cold, Diamid stands as a silent spectator while Jaina is prepared as a ritual sacrifice by the dragons. Jaina screams in agony as she begins to burn, her cries of "ah" falling on the deaf ears of her father. The hooded man remains unmoved, knowing that, according to fate, Jaina must be sacrificed for honor at age 17. The ritual site crackles with intense heat, the sound of burning and snapping stone echoing through the dark, hollow chamber. Amidst the murmurs of the crowd, the dying girl's faint whimpers fade away as the ritual reaches its horrifying conclusion. As his daughter takes her final, pained breaths, the hooded Diamid turns away with a look of utter, chilling indifference. Diamid delivers a final, crushing blow, stating that her death is just as insignificant to him as her birth was. Returning to the present, Jaina pulls her suitcase with a determined tug, wondering why all fathers are so inherently cruel. With a solid clack, Jaina shuts her luggage. Resolving to survive despite being burdened with another heartless father in this life. Jaina stares into the distance, her expression a mix of resignation and the quiet strength of someone who has already died. Jaina remembers being beaten to death at 17 in her past life, realizing she cannot seem to escape a tragic fate. Looking back at the cave, Jaina admits she was genuinely surprised by how quickly her peaceful life was shattered. Jaina reflects on her role as a mere extra destined to perish long before the novel's main plot even begins. Walking away from the only home she knew, Jaina accepts that her life was originally meant to be a footnote. The path ahead is treacherous and long, as Jaina journeys toward a destiny that was never meant for her character. Seeing snow for the first time in this world, Jaina pauses to admire the falling white flakes in the air. A single snowflake lands in Jaina's palm, a fleeting moment of beauty in a life overshadowed by a dark future. Jaina observes the breathtaking snowy landscape, marveling at a world she never imagined could be so incredibly beautiful and vast. Remembering Yearns' final command to live freely, Jaina closes her eyes and prepares to start her own path forward. Jaina eventually finds her way to the base of the massive magic tower where the villainous Diamid makes his home. Pulling her hood up to cover her face, Jaina doubts Diamid would ever care to protect her from her fate. Her boots come to a sudden stop as she reaches the grand entrance, the sound of snow crunching beneath her. Looking up at the towering spire, Jaina prepares to enter the lion's den to secure a future she wasn't promised. A guard gives a quick, dry cough while standing watch, his breath hitching as he notices the small girl's arrival. Standing between two massive spears, Jaina stops, fueled by the knowledge that she only has 7 years of life left. Jaina walks past the guards with a soft tap-tap of her boots, knowing 7 years is enough to make a difference. A vision of her bruised past self appears, contrasting with her current resolve to spend her remaining time on her terms. Approaching the massive doors, another cough sounds as Jaina prepares to leave her past behind and face the cold mage. Jaina envisions a peaceful life surrounded by flowers, determined to enjoy the luxuries she was denied before her time runs out. The steady tick-tock of a clock echoes through the halls, signaling that Jaina's new life in the tower has finally begun. Jaina waits on the sofa, noting that 2 hours have passed since she arrived at the tower. Sipping her cold tea, Jaina accepts that appearing as an unknown daughter is surely a massive headache. Resolved to stay even if rejected, the blue-haired girl clenches her tiny fists with unwavering, quiet determination. Counting on her fingers, Jaina reasons that the tower's library and food surpass anything the Dragon Village offered. Jaina looks up as the portrait of her biological father looms grandly on the wall before her. The painting depicts Diamid Belafanian, the man whose past love for Visrice eventually turned into cold villainy. Narrative memories show a chaotic world plagued by demons, leading Diamid to seek out the Demon King. To end the curse, Diamid joined an elite group of powerful heroes, including the formidable dragon woman, Vesrice. A flashback reveals Diamid and Vesrice sharing a tranquil, sunlit moment in a flowery meadow long ago. Vesrice smiles with genuine warmth, her beauty accentuated by the peaceful environment and the love she felt. Amidst the butterflies, Vesrice playfully places a flower crown on Diamid's head, making the young hero blush. Their eyes meet in the glowing light, sharing a rare moment of tenderness amidst the ongoing war. The memory lingers on Vesrice's joyful expression, a fleeting instance of happiness before her life became a tragedy. Wearing the flower crown, a younger, happy Diamid smiles back at the woman who captured his heart. Holding hands, the couple agreed to marry once the Demon King was defeated and peace was finally restored. A brilliant flash of blue magic marks Diamid's success in battle, signaling the end of the Dark Era. Back in the meadow, the mood shifts as Viserys suddenly and coldly demands to cancel their wedding. Turning away, Vesrice leaves a stunned Diamid reaching after her, his voice filled with confusion and mounting dread. Diamid pleads for an explanation, unable to comprehend why the woman he loves is suddenly abandoning their future. Desperate for answers, Diamid grabs her shoulder, only to be met with a cold, manufactured glare of hatred. A sharp slash sound echoes through the air as Vesrice violently pushes him away, severing their final bond. Clutching his bleeding chest, Diamid stumbles and falls, his voice trembling as he asks why she is hurting him. Looking down with absolute indifference, Vesrice declares that she can no longer tolerate his disgusting human scent. Vesrice mocks him for being naive, stating that she only played along with his childish games until she grew bored. Walking away from the fallen man, Vesrice calls their relationship a foolish game and turns her back forever. While Diamid kneels in absolute despair, Vesrice hides her trembling, clenched fist as her heart breaks in secret. Tears stream down Viserys' face as she grieves her choice, hiding her terminal curse to spare him pain. Returning to the present, Jaina wonders if sharing the truth about her mother could prevent her father's corruption. She realizes it is impossible, as Diamid already sealed his emotions away following his heartbreak and perceived betrayal. A sudden, loud creak sounds as the heavy doors open, and a cold voice demands to see the child. Jaina jumps in surprise, her bright blue eyes wide with shock as the room's atmosphere turns freezing. Heavy footsteps crunch on the floor as a man approaches, warning that his time is not to be wasted. With a nervous swallow, Jaina realizes that the imposing figure entering the room is her biological father, Diamid. Diamid Belafanian stands in regal purple robes, his long dark hair and sharp features radiating a terrifying aura. A heavy heartbeat sounds as Jaina feels the weight of Diamid's cold presence while his assistant observes her. The blonde assistant stands between them, reading the dragon's letter that names Diamid as the young girl's father. Diamid crosses his arms in skepticism, his expression unreadable as he hears the name of the woman who betrayed him. Jaina stares into her father's eyes, her own reflection showing her fear as he slowly reaches toward her. Diamond's hand suddenly grips Jaina's chin, forcing the small girl to face him with a sudden, firm grab. He roughly tilts her head, his cold gaze scanning her features for any sign of deception or recognition. Diamond acknowledges the girl's presence with a flat tone, showing no emotion as he continues his chilling inspection. Jaina remains frozen in his grip, finding absolutely no trace of warmth or love in her father's blank eyes. The mage continues his scrutiny, holding the child's chin while the assistant watches the tense confrontation in silence. Diamond finally notes the girl's appearance, admitting that she possesses the exact same blue eyes as his own. With a dismissive gesture, he states that shared eye color means nothing and does not confirm her lineage. Turning away coldly, Diamond declares that a woman who hated him would never have given birth to his child. As he walks away, Diomed's mind is clouded by the bitter memory of being called disgusting by Vesseres. Ethereal chains of past pain tighten around the mage's heart, fueling his deep-seated resentment toward his former love. Diomed's expression briefly contorts with a flash of old rage before he regains his mask of chilling indifference. Stating there is nothing more to see, Diomed turns his back on Jaina, leaving her alone once again. The black-haired woman exits, dismissing the situation as pathetic while her cloak billows behind her. A thud sounds as the blonde man stands over the small girl seated on the blue sofa. The young girl realizes the man will never accept her as his own daughter. The blonde man lets out a soft sigh as he stares down at her. Crunch! His heavy boots hit the carpet while he reflects on the unexpected turn of events. Swoosh! He moves closer, his presence looming over the silent girl. The blonde man voices his annoyance at cleaning up messes while the girl watches him intently. Flop! He tosses his folder aside, noting he must now decide her fate himself. He looks at her with a sharp gaze, questioning how he should handle the little girl. The small girl stares back, her wide eyes reflecting the cold atmosphere of the room. Narration reveals the blonde man is a loyal follower of the villainous Diomed. Having lost his parents, his obsession with magic led him to desperate, bloody measures for power. His twisted personality shines through a smile as he repeats his mocking question to the girl. Slurp. Ignoring his taunts, the girl calmly takes a long sip of her tea. She lets out a satisfied sigh and tells him to do whatever he pleases. Thud. Caught off guard by her indifference, the blonde man nearly slips from his seat. Sip. He watches her in bewilderment, unsettled by her lack of fear or concern. He points a finger at her, mockingly suggesting she was desperate to meet her father. Michael introduces himself as her cousin, clarifying the Tower Master's lack of family sentiment. He begins to explain the harsh rules of survival to the girl he calls Asherid. The girl interrupts, flatly stating that her real name is Jaina, not Asherid. She explains that Asherid was a fake name given by relatives who thought Jaina sounded too human. Jaina places a hand over her heart, standing firm in her true identity. Thud. Michael slaps a paper onto the table, complaining about the nuisance of her multiple names. He gives a mocking smile, daring to ask what would happen if he ignored her request. Shiver. Jaina's blunt lack of reaction leaves him feeling defeated and awkward. Whoosh! Michael jumps up, frustrated that his intimidation tactics fail against a child with dragon blood. Flutter. He marches out, ordering her to follow him to see the reality of her situation. They enter the grand, glowing heart of the Magic Tower for a guided tour. Clack. They walk through the hall, his long white cape trailing behind them. Jaina notices with a start that the snowy weather outside the window has suddenly vanished. She pauses to gaze at her reflection against the magical scenery of the tower. To her amazement, every window in the hallway displays a completely different landscape. Her eyes sparkle with wonder as she takes in the impossible beauty of the magical views. Michael shouts for her to stop dawdling and follow him deeper into the tower. He strides ahead, warning that she'll be left behind if she doesn't keep up. Click! With a snap of his fingers, he reveals that the entire structure is built of magic. Swoosh! A sudden magical gust of snow surrounds them, demonstrating the tower's volatile power. He remarks that weak and small beings like her are doomed to get lost. Crunch! He asks if she's finally scared, but she remains entirely unimpressed. Michael warns her to stay close while Jaina reflects on her secret past life. Squeeze, she clenches her fist, reminding herself that she is an unwelcome guest here. Step, she follows him, resolved to simply enjoy the small luxuries of her new life. They arrive at a bustling dining hall, filled with mages focused on their magical studies. Sniff! The delicious aroma of the food causes Jaina to gasp in pure delight. Her eyes fixate on the massive piles of bread and delicacies laid out before her. Overcome with joy, Jaina weeps over the food, grateful for her abandonment, while a confused Michael looks on. She observes the mages ignoring the feast, confirming rumors that magic users rarely care to eat. The surrounding mages look up from their books, curious about the small girl in their midst. The mages whisper curiously as they watch Jaina pass through the hall, wondering about her mysterious origins. Jaina stops, noticing their intense stares and realizing that her presence has captured the entire room's attention. Michael's expression darkens as he warns the onlookers to stay out of business that doesn't concern them. As the mages scatter, Jaina reflects on Michael's harsh demeanor while her eyes light up at the food. Driven by hunger, Jaina ignores decorum and begins grabbing the bread rolls with both of her bare hands. Michael watches in disbelief, questioning why she isn't using the provided plates or tongs to eat her meal. He lets out a frustrated sigh while picking up the crumbs she dropped, insisting she use a plate. Michael mockingly remarks that apparently majestic dragons lack the basic knowledge required to eat like insignificant humans. Unbothered by his sharp tongue, Jaina tells him she can manage on her own and he can leave. Michael leans in with a disgruntled look, asking if he's actually bothering her or if he's unwelcome. He strictly informs her about the dining hall rules, declaring that leaving any leftovers is absolutely forbidden here. Michael points a warning finger, but Jaina merely notes that he seems far more attentive than the stories suggested. Jaina takes a large bite, her eyes widening in realization at the incredible flavor of the fresh bread. Michael watches her intently, privately assuming that this might be her very first time tasting real bread. His eyes widen in sudden shock as he notices an unexpected change in the little girl's expression. Michael is caught completely off guard when he sees tears streaming down Jaina's face as she continues eating. Unsure of how to react, he tentatively calls out to her as a single tear falls down his cheek. He leans closer, his voice dropping as he asks the small girl if she is actually crying. Jaina remains perfectly calm, looking up at him with tear-filled eyes while flatly denying that she is upset. Michael shouts that she's clearly wrong, while Jaina blames the delicious fresh bread for her sudden emotional outburst. Michael's mind races as he wonders who bullied her behind his back, annoyed that someone beat him to it. He concludes the bread must be spicy and grabs one to check, while a startled Jaina looks on. After tasting it himself, Michael is confused to find the bread tastes completely normal and not spicy at all. He asks why she started crying out of nowhere, leaving Jaina looking stunned and speechless by his interrogation. Done! Jaina's heart thumps with determination as she asks if she's allowed to have even more bread. Briller, a massive stack of empty plates gleams on the table as Jaina continues chewing through her meal. Michael stares at the towering piles of plates in stunned silence, wondering what is wrong with this child. He notes in disbelief that she managed to consume every single one of those rolls in mere minutes. Michael uses magic to inspect her, questioning if she is truly human after witnessing her immense appetite. He casts a silent spell while questioning her capacity, and Jaina matter-of-factly reveals her half-dragon nature. Jaina explains that her true form weighs hundreds of kilos, imagining Michael getting flattened by her massive dragon body. Flashbacks reveal her painful past where relatives neglected her, forcing her to forage for wild mushrooms to survive. Jaina grabs more food, fueled by the memory of those who were so careless with her basic needs. She walks away with another full plate, relieved that she is finally in a place where food is plentiful. Zing! A sudden icy shiver runs through Jaina's body as she feels an ominous magical presence nearby. Jaina comes to a sudden halt, her eyes darting around the room as she remains on high alert. Jaina looks over her shoulder, spotting a white-haired woman in an elegant green dress examining a document. She watches the woman closely, but concludes that the intense gaze she felt didn't come from that direction. Standing alone in the darkened hall, Jaina wonders if the strange sensation was just a trick of her imagination. As Jaina walks away, A mysterious shadow with a single glowing green eye watches her from the darkness. Michael tells her to stay and entertain herself while he leaves to handle some necessary tower business. Jaina happily chirps her agreement and begins to run off, surrounded by a cheerful, flowery atmosphere. Wait! Michael's gloved hand suddenly shoots out, catching the back of Jaina's red cloak to stop her. He pulls her back firmly, expressing his doubts about her being the true daughter of the Tower Master. Michael's gaze turns cold as he warns her that dragons are highly valued as magical ingredients by humans. He explains that young dragons are targeted for their blood and bones to create powerful potions and holy weapons. Michael notes that while older dragons protect their young, Jaina currently has no guardian to watch over her. Jaina continues her journey, stepping across a shimmering magical surface as she reflects on Michael's grim warnings. A final piece of narration warns that danger is ever present for those who dare to let their guard down. The scene closes on Michael's firm grip on Jaina's cloak, a silent reminder of her precarious situation. Michael leans down, asking Jaina if she understands that crazy people frequently appear within the magic tower. Jaina calmly plans to defend herself if necessary, leaving Michael wondering what kind of girl she actually is. Michael stares intently as a bright, flowery smile suddenly transforms Jaina's expression into one of pure, innocent joy. How cute, Michael thinks to himself, struggling to suppress a laugh at this small girl's charming appearance. Ah, Michael shouts in surprise, his face flushing with visible irritation as he reacts to her unexpected response. Turn! Michael marches away, shouting that no one is worried about her and demanding she stay out of trouble. As Michael leaves, Jaina reflects that he is different from the novel and wonders if the story hasn't begun. Walk. Jaina decides to think about it later while wandering through the vast, glowing aisles of the library. Jaina looks up at the towering shelves, expressing her desire to read a book while she is here alone. Done! Her heart sinks as she realizes the books are far too high for her small stature to reach. Fall! Catch! A book suddenly drops from the shelf, and she catches it in a puff of pure surprise. Jaina stares at the tome, shocked to realize it is the exact book she was just thinking about reading. She looks around, wondering if the dancing magical orbs were the ones who delivered the book to her. Smile. By the magical assistance, Jaina gives a sweet, appreciative look toward the glowing lights above her. Vroom, vroom! The magical orbs zoom through the air as Jaina watches them from the library's ornate wooden balcony. Grab! Jaina clutches the book tightly, reflecting on her current inability to use different types of formal magic. Flashbacks showed Jaina secretly practicing magic after spying on Aunt Euryce teaching her cousins in the dark woods. Flip. Since no one will teach her, Jaina resolves to study magic theory on her own using the book. Flip. Jaina settles onto a bench, seeing this as the perfect opportunity to learn about magic outside her clan. Done. She opens the book to a page filled with complex, glowing magic circles and ancient runic script. Jaina stares in stunned silence, completely overwhelmed by the unintelligible information displayed on the glowing, magical pages. Snap! She closes the book, determining she must find a simpler book that she can actually read. A sudden voice calls out to her, causing the startled girl to look over her shoulder in surprise. Approach. A man with green hair and glasses leans in, asking the small girl how she is doing. The man introduces himself as Mobin, a tower mage, while Jaina assumes he's just an unimportant side character. Mobin asks where Michael went, causing Jaina to turn serious as her sharp dragon senses suddenly flare. Calm maintains a friendly facade, while Jaina notes that her heightened senses are perceiving something suspicious about him. Jaina realizes the strange feeling she had back in the dining hall was actually coming from this specific man. Jaina suddenly breaks into a cheerful act, loudly calling out to the mage to mask her growing suspicion. Jaina asks Mobin how he knew she was with Michael, catching the green-haired man completely off guard. Poofed! Jaina continues her bubbly facade, hiding her tactical calculation behind a wide, forced, and cheerful smile. Shiver, Mobin recoils slightly, visibly shaken by the little girl's direct and probing question about his knowledge. Restless, Mobin claims he simply saw them passing together a moment ago while touching his face. Mobin explains that it's currently research delivery period, warning that it's dangerous for a child to be alone. Jaina recalls reading about the tower's brutal merit-based system, where mages are expelled for failing to produce results. Narration explains that Diomed's system is based purely on results, making this period vital for all the mages. Jaina reflects that due to the reclusive nature of the tower, It must be strange to see a child. Michael's grim warning about humans targeting dragons echoes in Jaina's mind as she grips her book with suspicion. Smile. Jaina brightly claims Michael is her friend and will return soon, hoping to draw attention to herself. Murmur. Observe. Surrounding mages look up from their research, curious about the girl's claim of being Michael's friend. Jaina privately scoffs at the mage's lack of social understanding, while Mobin looks offended by her blunt tone. Noisy. The other mages shout for silence, causing Mobin to sweat as the room's attention turns toward him. Mobin bows and apologizes profusely to the room, looking embarrassed as he prepares to leave. Flip. Mobin tries one last time to invite her away, but Jaina ignores him and continues reading. Ignore. Focuses entirely on her book, leaving Mobin standing awkwardly behind her with an annoyed expression. Shout! The mages yell for silence again, demanding the green-haired man stop being so incredibly noisy. Tsk, walk, walk. Mobin finally gives up and marches away, clutching his head in utter frustration. Whew! Jaina lets out a sigh of relief, hiding her face behind the large book once she's alone. Jaina notes that the threat has passed, even though her hands are still trembling with leftover adrenaline. Top. Jaina reflects on her habit of staying alert for threats, her boots resting quietly on the library floor. Jaina sits cross-legged, clutching her book with closed eyes as a powerful magical aura swirls around her. The majestic magic tower stands tall against the night, its windows glowing with an otherworldly, brilliant blue light. Peering through the window, Jaina listens as Michael's voice asks if she's certain about being left alone. A maid explains the room is for storage, worriedly noting that Jaina seems far too small to stay there. Jaina looks up confidently, reassuring the skeptical maid that she is much stronger than her appearance might suggest. Recalling Michael's teasing challenge to become the boss, Jaina convinces the maid to follow his specific orders. Startled by the girl's request, the maid listens as Jaina asks for a blanket to use while she sleeps. The maid rushes away with a determined shout, leaving Jaina alone in the dim, spacious storage room. An announcement declares that her new living quarters will be located conveniently near the tower's hard-working servants. Michael reaches for the heavy suitcase, warning that her situation will worsen if she stays in the central chambers. He explains that while the room is quite old, she will find much more comfort and peace there. Sensing her hesitation, Michael asks if something is wrong while Jaina stares down at her luggage in deep thought. Her boots rest on the ornate carpet as she wonders if staying in this magic tower is truly right. Michael scratches his head, reminding her that he is the one tasked with her care for the time being. Surrounded by glowing blue roses, Michael admits he is only making an exception to observe a rare dragon closely. Jaina briefly imagines cheering for Michael as the best before offering a quiet, polite smile and thanking him. Da-dun! Jaina sits completely buried under a massive, fluffy mountain of blankets provided by the overly enthusiastic maid. Looking at the maid's departing back, Jaina realizes that having this many blankets was probably a bit excessive. Plop! Jaina finally drifts into a peaceful slumber, cradled by the soft warmth of her new, magical bed. As her guard drops, a dark dragon tail slips out and wags gently from beneath her lace-trimmed skirt. Jaina yawns widely, reflecting on the fact that this is the first time she has ever slept comfortably. Surrounded by visions of bread and books, she rejoices in finally having enough food and knowledge to satisfy her. Most importantly, Jaina feels safe knowing there are no cruel relatives around to harass her in the sanctuary. She sleeps deeply, her face a picture of pure tranquility as she finally experiences the comfort of a home. Michael sits at the dining table with a smug grin, resting his chin on his hand while waiting. A breer. Jaina ignores him and focuses on her meal, opening a fresh jar of jam for her toast. Michael shares rumors of ghosts in her room, while Jaina finds his presence far more annoying than any phantom. Jaina continues spreading her jam, stating she prefers dark places because they remind her of her familiar caves. Dera Mar. She notes that the living are far more terrifying than the dead, leaving Michael stunned by her bluntness. Chasker. Michael snaps his fingers to cast a silent spell, preparing to interrogate the girl about her human curiosity. Michael reacts with visible shock and outrage when Jaina asks if all pure-blooded humans are as strange as him. Jaina casually bites into her toast while Michael shouts, calling her a rebellious and incredibly troublesome little girl. Michael blushes and stammers as Jaina points out they aren't friends, questioning what she should even call him. A mysterious woman with long, pale hair and a knowing smile watches the two bicker from the shadows. Acariciar! Jaina is suddenly startled as a gentle, gloved hand reaches out and begins to pat her head. Jaina freezes in shock, realizing the elegant woman approached her without her heightened dragon senses noticing a thing. Sanrir, the woman towers over Jaina with a graceful smile, revealing that she is also a fan of dragons. The mysterious lady asks to join their conversation, leaving Jaina wondering about the identity of this sudden newcomer. Narration introduces Hilvenzia del Bosque, the formidable third-ranked mage and skilled tower chef with powers rivaling Michael's own. Her brilliant white hair is the only hint of her real age, as she maintains a deceptively youthful appearance. Hilvenzia looks down with a piercing emerald gaze, reiterating her fascination with the rare and powerful dragon race. Frotar, she begins rubbing Jaina's cheek, casually mentioning that the very first potion was brewed using dragon blood. Jaina remains unfazed, acknowledging that the temple's holy sword was forged from the bones of her fallen kin. Hilvenzia smiles at the girl's cleverness and audacity, her eyes glinting with a sharp, calculating interest in her. The tall woman asks for her name, and Jaina politely introduces herself while Hilvenzia continues to pot her. Hilvenzia lifts Jaina's chin, complimenting her eyes and noting their striking resemblance to those of the Tower Master. Framed by dark roses and a ghostly dragon shadow, Hilvenzia declares she is deeply interested in the young girl. Goldeal. A gloved fist slams onto the table with a thunderous boom, shattering the surface in a rage. Michael shouts in fury, demanding to know how Hilvenzia dared to eavesdrop through his high-level silent magic barrier. Arg, Michael growls as Hilvenzia coolly claims her authority over the dining hall allows her to hear everything. Silver-haired Hilvenzia mocks the idea of Michael bothering the girl, claiming she has her own important business. Michael stands up abruptly with a sharp levantar's sound, accusing the woman of planning something terrible for Jaina. Violent whoosh sounds erupt as Michael's mana flares, his eyes glowing blue while he refuses to see Jaina as an ingredient. An erg sound escapes from pressured mages, while Hilvenzia wonders if Michael's mana release will disturb Jaina's peace. Heavy dun sounds echo as Hilvenzia questions Michael's authority, while Jaina remains silent and small between the bickering mages. Jaina interrupts the tension, politely asking the silver-haired woman if she can go get more bread from the kitchen. The dark-haired girl tells them not to worry and continues toward her meal, leaving Michael and Hilvenzia stunned. A soft kolakar sounds as a plate of golden toast is set down, sparkling with an appetizing, magical glow. Jaina prepares to take a bite, an ah sound escaping as she holds the bread coated in red jam. Rhythmic mortar sounds fill the air as Jaina eats happily, oblivious to the intense, awkward stares from the adults. Michael and Hilvenzia observe the child, noting how rare it is for anyone to act so indifferent toward them. A sharp kashir sounds as Michael tells Hilvenzia to shut up after she questions if the child is simply simple-minded. A soft S sounds as Michael's mana settles, and Hilvenzia suggests Jaina try something other than plain bread. A triumphant ta-da sounds as the menu shifts to a lavish spread of fresh lobster and savory clam pasta. A soft lammer sounds as Jaina licks jam from her thumb, noting the ever-changing variety of the tower's food. Jaina looks at the luxurious seafood, admitting she feels uncertain about the proper way to eat such fancy dishes. A rhythmic mastikar sounds as Jaina continues chewing her toast, finding comfort in the simple flavors she knows. Hilvenzia questions why the girl only eats bread, her expression softening as she realizes Jaina's preference is deep-rooted. Jaina looks down at her plate, quietly thinking to herself that this simple food is more than enough for her. A soft agarar sounds as Jaina takes more bread, appreciating that she can eat until she is full. Jaina worries that adjusting to luxury will make her survival harder if she is eventually cast out of the tower. Michael calls out to the girl while Jaina reflects on her preference for simplicity over the tower's grandeur. The blonde mage and the silver-haired woman watch Jaina with complex, unreadable expressions as she continues eating. Hilvenzia offers comfort, promising that times will improve and the Tower Master won't leave her alone forever. Jaina looks away, her large blue eyes filled with a deep, silent skepticism toward their kind words. A vision of a younger, lonelier Jaina appears amidst cherry blossoms, reflecting her past feelings of isolation and sorrow. Michael reaches out a hand in the fading memory, a gesture of protection that feels distant and fleeting. A sharp crack sounds as the vision shatters, recalling her family's cold admission that they could no longer protect her. Shards fall with a soft care sound as a cruel voice mocks her pathetic state and lack of allies. Jaina recalls being abandoned by her royal kin, questioning why these new people would treat her any differently. She realizes they only value her as a dragon, her knowledge of the novel's plot reinforcing her deep distrust. Memories of Diomed resurface, his cold face a reminder that her life holds no meaning to him. Jaina stares at her bread, certain that Diomed's heartless nature will never truly change toward her. She resolves never to trust anyone else again, her blue eyes hardening with a quiet, internal vow. A sharp whoosh sounds as the scene shifts, and Jaina concludes that she is her only true protector. A soft retroceder sounds as Jaina recoils from a vision of Michael, who calls her a naive little dragon. Michael's face contorts into a menacing grin as he threatens to sell her as a test subject, fueling her nightmare. Bright briller sounds echo through a clean room as the scene transitions back to Jaina's current reality. A cheerful sparkle sound accompanies Jaina as she finishes cleaning her room, satisfied with the decent, tidy appearance. Jaina holds her broom firmly, smiling as she realizes she must rely on herself and her dark magic. A soft mirar sounds as she looks at her luggage, determined not to ask for help from anyone. Looking at a pile of laundry with a soft apilado sound, she wonders if she should wash her clothes now. Jaina walks through the grand tower with a soft kaminar sound, looking around cautiously while holding her laundry. A sharp parar sounds as she stops, hearing the approach of others while searching for a place to wash. A soft iskander sounds as Jaina ducks away while two mages walk by, complaining about their stressful research. Jaina watches the pair from her hiding spot, realizing they were simply distracted tower members passing by. A soft bastazar sounds as the tired mages yawn, leaving Jaina to reflect on her growing paranoia after yesterday. Jaina thinks everyone seems busy, wondering if she's the only one without anything to do as she smiles. A sharp aparacer sounds as Jaina encounters two more mages who look as exhausted as walking zombies. A blonde mage stands proudly while the tired researchers wonder if he has finally lost his mind from overwork. The blonde boy Michael conjures water magic, playfully asking if everyone is still asleep. A massive schwa sounds as Michael's fist glows, unleashing a sudden torrent of cold water. The morning peace is shattered as a blue-haired student is thoroughly doused by the water. Jaina reacts with wide-eyed shock as the splash hits her from behind, catching her off guard. The soaked girl remains frozen in the hallway while the other students flee from the scene. Drenched and dripping, Jaina stares in complete bewilderment at the damp disaster Michael just caused. A heavy da-dun sounds as Jaina glares at the floor, fuming at Michael's childish morning prank. Jaina holds her soaked clothing, realizing with dismay that she has no other outfits to wear. Jaina imagines transforming or starting a fire, but knows neither option is suitable for the tower. Resigned to her soggy fate, Jaina sighs and decides she will just sleep in wet clothes. A puddle of water slowly expands across the ornate rug, marking the aftermath of Michael's magic. A rhythmic tintineer echoes through the dining hall as the mages sit down for their morning meal. Michael sips his drink while Jaina approaches him, greeting him with a muffled, slurred morning wish. Holding a plate of melon bread, Jaina explains her congested voice is from a sudden cold. Michael snaps his spoon with a loud chasquer, stunned that a dragon could ever fall ill. Jaina observes that Michael still believes her mother's lies about the physical perfection of dragons. A sudden achoo sounds as Jaina sneezes, explaining her half-human blood makes her uniquely fragile. Michael watches her with suspicion, asking if something happened to her since the day before. While chewing her bread, Jaina hides the truth to avoid being mocked for her wet clothes. Michael reacts with shock and confusion upon hearing that Jaina actually slept in her soaked dress. Michael yells in exasperation while a startled Jaina shudders and drops her plate of bread. Michael scolds her, pointing out that she could have used simple magic to dry herself off. Michael suddenly stops and narrows his eyes, his gaze turning from annoyance to a cold realization. Jaina admits her clan only taught her dark magic, leaving her incapable of basic cleaning spells. Michael scoffs and crosses his arms, mocking the supposed gap between human and dragon magic. A soft toaster sounds as Jaina coughs, while Michael looks at her with a calculating expression. Jaina looks up with quiet resignation, accepting that she is stuck in this uncomfortable situation. Michael leads the small girl to a grand decorated door and begins to knock loudly. Michael is annoyed to find the room empty, realizing that the person he sought is gone. Michael looks back at Jaina with a chilling stare, his friendly demeanor replaced by something sinister. A soft susurrar sounds as Michael mutters under his breath about finally taking a certain action. Michael looms over the girl, calling her naive, while a frightened Jaina steps backward in alarm. Michael smiles darkly, revealing his treacherous plan to sell Jaina off as a research subject. A low vroom sounds as Michael's hand glows blue, warning Jaina to stay quiet and still. A sharp period sounds as Jaina is lifted into the air by a sudden burst of magic. Michael catches the girl and pins her under his arm, declaring that he has caught her. A sudden frottar sounds as Michael rubs his back, complaining about the physical effort of lifting. Michael carries the girl toward the stairs, noting how surprisingly heavy she is for a human. Jaina apologizes for her weight while being carried, but Michael demands she remain silent. The two exchange sharp words, with Michael mimicking the girl's slurred speech to further annoy her. Jaina stares blankly, realizing that it is absolutely impossible to reason with the eccentric blonde boy. Michael reflects on the girl's illness, wondering if it's truly possible for a dragon to be sick. A heavy da-dun sounds as they approach a massive gate guarded by silent mages in robes. Michael commands the guards to prepare a teleportation circle, ignoring their confusion over the small girl. A loud crugier sounds as the gate begins to glow with an intense, emerging magical light. Michael begins to recite an ancient spell with his eyes closed, conjuring glowing runes in the air. The pair stands at the center of the brilliant blue teleportation circle as it reaches full power. A loud whoosh sounds as Jaina stares in awe at the massive magical portal Michael created. Jaina is amazed by the ease Michael displays, knowing that teleportation circles are notoriously difficult. A low vroom sounds as the light consumes them, proving Michael is indeed a rare magical genius. Blonde Michael scoops up black-haired Jaina with a sudden hup, telling the small girl to hold on tight. Michael flashes a confident smirk, promising that their departure will only take a mere moment. A powerful floosh echoes as Michael carries her through a magical gateway, leaving the tower behind. Inside the grand estate, two attentive maids bow politely and offer a warm greeting to their visitors. Michael walks through the sunlit hallway, still cradling Jaina as the staff watches them pass with curiosity. A thunderous da-dun sound fills the room as the maids line up to welcome their chief home. Michael begins to lower her to the ground while Jaina observes the staff's genuine happiness at his return. The gray-haired butler bows gracefully, leading the way while mentioning they have been eagerly awaiting his arrival. Turning with a smirk, Michael asks Jaina if she noticed the staff's reaction to his grand return. Jaina looks exhausted, bluntly asking if he plans to sell her as a test subject for new potions. Michael rubs his head in exasperation, thinking that her stubborn personality is exactly like the Tower Master's. The maid's eyes sparkle with intense excitement while Jaina asks what could possibly be causing such a reaction. The staff members begin fantasizing aloud about the many exquisite outfits they want to craft for Michael. Visions of Michael in various military uniforms appear as the maids argue over which colors best highlight him. Adorned in a pristine white suit, Michael looks every bit the Prince Charming the enthusiastic maids imagine. A joyful whoosh sound erupts as the tailors celebrate their passion for fashion with excited cheers and ribbons. A sharp crack sound interrupts the chaos as Michael demands they focus on making clothes for the girl. One maid stammers in surprise, explaining they were scheduled to prepare his royal ball attire for the palace. Michael ignores their protests, firmly ordering them to cancel his plans and prioritize new outfits for Jaina instead. Michael groans as they mention Princess Aaliyah's temper, noting his aunt's violent threats regarding the upcoming ball. Jaina reflects on Michael's family ties to Princess Elia and the great mage Diomed, sensing an ironic destiny. A formal portrait introduces Princess Elia, revealing her as the biological mother of the story's future protagonist, Rosian. Memories of a happier time show the blonde princess laughing among friends in a field of blooming flowers. A grim vision depicts a bloody future where Princess Elia is tragically destined to be killed by Diomed. Michael sighs wearily, his thoughts weighed down by the complicated and dark legacy of his royal family line. Michael lets out a tired sound, finally relenting and telling the tailors to just make him one suit. He threatens to destroy the shop if they overdo it, while the tailor invites Jaina for her measurements. While the blonde man watches, the tailor begins measuring Jaina and asks the small girl for her age. A sharp sound of inhaling escapes Michael as he listens to Jaina reveal she is actually 10 years old. Michael announces he is heading to the palace for a moment and walks away, leaving Jaina with the staff. Jaina asks if he's going to see Princess Elia, causing Michael to pause and take a deep breath. Flashing a bright smile, Michael claims he just feels like visiting the palace, though his eyes remain guarded. Michael instructs her to wait patiently for his return, and Jaina offers a quiet agreement as he leaves. Jaina contemplates the tragic fate of the story's characters, feeling detached since her own death seems so certain. As her arm is measured, Jaina decides the complex royal drama has nothing to do with her current life. Sometime later, Michael returns to the boutique and calls out to see how the young girl is doing. Michael asks for her location, and the butler explains Jaina is currently inside trying on her new wardrobe. Michael settles onto the sofa with a heavy sound, looking contemplative as he waits for the girl to emerge. Observing the measurements, Michael is struck by how thin Jaina is compared to other children her age. He bites his lip in frustration, letting out a quiet curse as the reality of her malnutrition sinks in. Michael clutches his head, deeply disturbed that a 10-year-old child could have such a tiny and fragile body. A sudden memory of Jaina looking small and lonely makes him wonder if she grew up entirely without care. A somber schwa sound of rain fills the air in a flashback showing a young Michael at a funeral. Drenched by the rain, the young boy stands alone and grieving while the schwa sound continues to echo. The rainy flashback continues as the young boy enters a dark room, seeking solace from the storm outside. Young Michael recoils in fear on a blue sofa as a shadow looms over him in the dark room. The dark-haired Diomed looks down coldly, telling the boy to stop wasting time with useless emotions and grief. Diomed bluntly states Michael is only there for his utility, while a reflection ties this past to Jaina's present. Returning to the present, Michael resolves to make sure Jaina eats more than just scraps once they return. The tailor approaches with a popular design in hand, presenting it to the brooding Michael as Jaina continues dressing. Michael looks on with a wide-eyed, stunned expression, clearly impressed by something he has just witnessed. Jaina stands calmly, her bright blue eyes and dark hair framed by a soft, ethereal glow as she observes Michael. A sudden, loud bam sounds as the blonde princess Elia strikes a training dummy with focused intensity during her practice. Princess Elia pauses her training as a purple-haired attendant approaches to report that Michael has arrived at the palace. A formal introduction presents Elia El Isni Deladide, the formidable and high-ranking first princess of the Deladide Empire. The attendant informs the princess that Michael visited the laboratory specifically to take a high-grade healing potion. Elia looks visibly perplexed and breaks into a cold sweat, questioning why a master alchemist would need palace medicine. The attendant confirms that Michael appeared to be in perfect health, deepening the mystery of the stolen healing draft. Gripping her training sword, Elia remains deeply skeptical while her aide stands respectfully behind her, awaiting further orders. A faint, embarrassed blush colors Michael's cheeks as he looks away, seemingly flustered by his own recent behavior. Michael sits regally while evaluating Jaina's appearance, asking the maid if there are any other outfits to try on. In a moment of silent, comical awkwardness, Jaina and the maid exchange a wordless stare of mutual confusion. Jaina models a sunny yellow dress and a matching hat, looking perfectly polished in the bright light of the room. Michael gives a simple, thoughtful nod, signaling his approval of the yellow ensemble before moving on to the next. Now wearing a frilly blue gown, Jaina receives another nod of acceptance from Michael as he continues the dress rehearsal. Wearing a vibrant red dress with large bows, Jaina is quickly ushered to change as Michael demands to see more. Michael leans in to encourage the exhausted girl, though Jaina looks completely drained by the endless cycle of costume changes. Jaina lets out a tired sigh, wondering if any dress will ever be good enough to satisfy Michael's picky tastes. Michael points demandingly toward more clothes, while Jaina gasps in shock at the growing pile of expensive gifts. Jaina tries to chase after Michael to refuse his overwhelming generosity, but he continues walking away with stubborn resolve. A sharp pinch sounds as Michael squeezes Jaina's cheek, causing the small girl to cry out in sudden pain. While still holding her face, Michael tells her to be quiet and prepares to give her the stolen healing potion. Michael reveals the shimmering pink liquid, presenting the Imperial Potion as the cure for her current physical illness. Narrative text explains the flask contains legendary holy water and alchemical power, making it an incredibly rare and expensive treasure. Jaina tries to push his hand away, insisting she cannot accept a medicine so valuable and difficult to obtain. Michael gets angry at her refusal, while Jaina argues that the lavish gifts and potion are far too much. Jaina looks down in quiet reflection, admitting she only wanted small comforts rather than such overwhelming and public luxury. Michael leans in with a secretive whisper, questioning if Jaina truly believes his actions are purely for her benefit. He tells her to listen carefully while maids bustle in the background, carrying an endless stream of shopping bags. Michael explains his true motive is to distance himself from his aunt and the people surrounding her through this display. He claims the potion is only to protect himself from her cold, yet Jaina finds his close proximity quite suspicious. A soft ah sounds as Jaina finally opens her mouth, reluctantly accepting the expensive medicine from the blonde boy. A low vrim sounds as a surge of magical energy envelops Jaina, signaling the potion's powerful healing effects taking hold. Jaina touches her throat in amazement, feeling her physical ailment vanish instantly thanks to the potent Imperial draft. Michael mutters to himself, observing that divine power seems to work on half-dragons just as effectively as it does humans. Michael stands up to leave, ending the shopping spree as he prepares to depart the palace with the young girl. Michael extends a hand and offers a rare, genuine smile, looking pleased with the success of his unconventional plan. Michael playfully ruffles Jaina's hair before walking away, leaving the girl looking messy and annoyed at his sudden teasing. Jaina fixes her disheveled hair, staring after the retreating Michael with a mixture of confusion and growing curiosity. A rhythmic heartbeat echoes through Jaina's chest as she experiences a strange, new sensation of warmth and belonging. Michael leads the group through the sunlit palace hallway, while Jaina and the maid follow with their many purchases. Jaina lies on her bed, surrounded by expensive shopping bags, feeling completely overwhelmed by Michael's sudden, massive generosity. A magical blue pouch glows on the desk, another gift Michael gave her to store her entire new wardrobe. Jaina reflects on Michael's insistence that she keep the bag, feeling a heavy sense of debt toward the boy. Michael's expression turns terrifyingly dark as he warns others to mind their own business and stop watching them. Michael rages about what he saw with his own eyes, while a frustrated Jaina struggles to understand his intensity. Jaina realizes this version of Michael is different from the novel, utilizing his vast connections to get everything he wants. She decides to look at things from Michael's perspective, wondering what she could possibly offer him in return. Jaina imagines various breads and ancient spellbooks, trying to think of a gift that would actually impress someone like him. A beautiful bouquet of white and blue flowers stands as a symbol of the blossoming and complicated bond between them. Jaina turns over in bed, contemplating Michael's potential interest in garden flowers while she rests after the shopping spree. A soft ah sounds as Jaina's blue eyes widen, hit by a sudden realization regarding a secret plan. Jaina sits up quickly, determined to find a specific object she remembers from the events of the original novel. Moonlight spills through the tall cathedral windows as Jaina begins her quiet trek through the empty, dark tower. Taking a deep breath, Jaina clutches her blue bag and prepares to venture out for her secret mission. Jaina navigates the tower halls, knowing there are secret ways to exit beyond the main guarded magical portals. Reflecting on the story, Jaina recalls that the powerful Diomed often retreats to a hidden garden to think. Diomed is a striking figure with long, dark hair and piercing eyes, surrounded by rare, legendary white flowers. Jaina observes the tower's layout, betting that Michael has never seen the rare flowers hidden in the secret garden. Confident that Diomed is away for the day, Jaina moves stealthily toward the hidden door in the tower's wing. Jaina runs through the silent corridors, hoping her small footsteps go unnoticed as she nears her dangerous target. Two robed mages stand in solemn silence, unaware of the small girl moving through the grand, decorated hallway. One of the robed mages reacts with a sharp gasp, sensing a strange presence nearby in the silent hall. A low vroom sounds as the mages part the massive doors, revealing a blinding pillar of magical energy within. The magical light intensifies as the gate opens, illuminating the corridor with a brilliant and overwhelming white radiance. A loud whoosh sounds as the long-haired Diomed steps through the portal, welcomed back by his loyal subordinates. Unaware of Diomed's sudden return, Jaina reaches the second floor and spots the plain wooden door she sought. Though the door looks entirely ordinary, Jaina knows it leads to a wall unless certain magical conditions are met. Jaina stops before the threshold, preparing herself to bypass the illusion and reach the secret garden beyond. Reaching for the handle, Jaina hopes her knowledge from the novel allows her to enter on the first try. Jaina closes her eyes, focusing intently as she visualizes the exact appearance of the legendary White Garden. Narrative text emphasizes the need to stand before the door and maintain a perfect mental image of the garden. The door opens as a brilliant light shines, and Jaina's blue eyes sparkle with wonder at the successful magic. A quaint wooden cottage stands amidst a vast field of glowing white flowers under a clear blue sky. Jaina enters the magical realm, awestruck by the sheer beauty and purity of the hidden flower sanctuary. A soft swish sounds as Jaina confirms these are indeed the Lashan flowers she intended to find. A gentle plop sounds as Jaina kneels among the blooms, her face lighting up with a rare, genuine smile. A soft ah sounds as Jaina reminds herself to be quick and gather a bouquet for her gift. Jaina carefully reaches out to pick a pristine white flower, its petals glowing softly in the garden light. Sitting among the vast field of white, Jaina begins to gather the beautiful blossoms into a large bundle. Jaina considers the flowers a pinnacle of luxury, reflecting on how much she truly values this simple beauty. Memories of a lonely past surface, showing a time when the girl never received flowers on her birthdays. Jaina kneels in the field, admitting that she had always longed to hold a bouquet of her own. Jaina breathes in the scent of the flowers, but a cold voice suddenly calls her a garden rat. A massive, dark shadow looms over the small girl, signaling the arrival of the garden's powerful owner. Jaina freezes in terror, instantly recognizing the deep, intimidating voice of the man standing behind her. Diomed looks down at the intruder with a stern expression, demanding to know what she is doing there. A heavy da-dun sounds as Diomed's cold gaze bores into Jaina, his presence suffocatingly intense and dark. A loud whoosh sounds as the wind whips through the flowers while Diomed confronts the terrified small girl. Jaina stares up at the tall man, realizing she has crossed a dangerous line and must face the consequences. Diomed's eyes remain cold as he looks at the girl, his patience thinning as she struggles to find words. A sharp swoosh sounds as Diomed stands tall against the sky, his long hair flowing in the garden breeze. A low dun-dun sounds as Diomed demands an explanation for how she managed to find his secret sanctuary. Diomed points out that no one in the tower knows this place, accusing her of using a clever trick. Jaina looks away in a cold sweat, unable to admit her knowledge comes from a book she once read. A soft shah sounds as dark magic swirls around Diomed's hand, signaling his intent to take drastic action. A sharp bzz sounds as Diomed's power intensifies, threatening to make the young intruder vanish from his sight. A sudden bzz sounds as Jaina is struck by a traumatic memory of being struck down in the past. Diomed suddenly stops his magical assault, his hand hovering in the air as he evaluates the trembling girl. Jaina bows her head and apologizes, while Diomed places a surprisingly gentle hand on her dark hair. Feeling dazed and sweating, Jaina deeply regrets her impulsive words after her blunt and awkward interaction with the man. A sudden whoosh of wind through white flowers carries a cold question about whether the dragons ordered Jaina's presence. Diomed accuses Jaina of trying to get close to steal his power, while the small girl asks what he means. Sighing heavily, the black-haired man laments that both humans and dragons are selfish enough to use children for gain. Jaina realizes Diomed suspects she is being used, reflecting on her abandonment by the dragons before trying to explain herself. Jaina nervously backs away as the black-haired man turns his sharp gaze toward her, questioning her claim that he is mistaken. Diomed looks at Jaina with cold suspicion, mockingly asking if lying is a common trait of her dragon race. Towering over the girl in the bright garden, Diomed prepares to reiterate a harsh truth about their cold relationship. A devastating declaration echoes through the field as Diomed bluntly states that Jaina is not his daughter, shocking her. A dark flashback reveals a girl named Bobe being rejected by relatives who claim they cannot care for her. The painful memory of abandonment ends with the girl standing alone with a suitcase, cast out by her family. Jaina realizes Diomed will never believe her, deciding to hide her true feelings and retreat into a polite facade. Adopting a respectful tone, Jaina lies by claiming she simply got lost while wandering and found the flowers by chance. Rubbing her hands nervously, Jaina apologizes for her intrusion while internally deciding to never reveal her true history to him. With a look of quiet determination, Jaina firmly states that she will never set foot in this flower garden again. Jaina begins walking away through the white flowers, leaving the silent black-haired man standing alone in the vast garden. Looking back over her shoulder, Jaina feels a wave of relief that she wasn't actually thrown out of the tower. Jaina stops suddenly as Diomed speaks the name Asherid, a name that clearly carries deep significance and weight for him. Diomed reflects on the legend of long-lived strong dragons, asking Jaina about the mysterious cause of her mother's death. Turning with a piercing inquiry, the Tower Master asks Jaina how her mother died, or if she is even dead. Diomed's eyes remain cold and guarded as he waits for an answer regarding the dragon woman from his past. A sudden swoosh of wind blows through the field while Jaina remains silent, her expression calm despite the heavy questioning. Jaina thinks of her fragmented past, realizing she remembers very little about her mother's death to give him an answer. A beautiful vision of a smiling, brown-haired woman appears, suggesting she had secrets she could never tell her daughter. The two figures stand distant in the white garden, separated by a legacy of secrets and unresolved magical history. Diomed repeats Jaina's words with a pensive look, clearly bothered by the idea of secrets he was never told. As Jaina walks toward a small house, Diomed watches her from behind, his internal thoughts hidden by a cold mask. Diomed scoffs at the girl's explanation, dismissing her claim of a secret as nothing more than an absurd lie. Touching his chest, Diomed recalls an attack from 11 years ago while wondering about Jaina's unnervingly calm demeanor. Observing Jaina's composure, the Tower Master notes how remarkably well she handles herself while standing in his intimidating presence. Narration observes that Jaina has been strangely calm for her age since the very first moment they met each other. A hazy flashback shows the tall, black-haired man lifting Jaina's chin during their first encounter to inspect her eyes. The haunting image of the brown-haired dragon woman returns, representing a past that continues to shadow the present. Jaina looks up with wide, innocent eyes, unaware of the deep emotional turmoil her presence creates for the man. A thunderous thud sounds as a glowing heart pulses in Diomed's chest, surprising him with a sudden surge of energy. Diomed stumbles with a pained clutching his chest while questioning the sudden physical reaction he is experiencing. A gentle swish of wind carries his pained thoughts about why he feels such agony despite sealing his emotions away. A sunny flashback shows a brown-haired woman calling out to a younger, more relaxed Diomed sitting in a field. The woman explains that dragons only have children with those they truly love, her hair fluttering in the breeze. The younger Diomed looks up in surprise as she confirms that dragon children are true symbols of love. A quiet touch between their hands over a book signifies the deep and sincere affection they once shared. The brown-haired woman smiles radiantly, a joyful memory that contrasts sharply with Diomed's current cold and isolated life. Returning to the present, Diomed stares down at Jaina and firmly repeats to himself that she isn't his daughter. A petal lands with a soft plop as Diomed insists he would never have a daughter of his own. Diomed crushes a petal in a tight, angry grip, his hand glowing with a dark and repressive magical aura. Letting the crushed bits fly away, he coldly decides that Jaina doesn't even deserve the effort of his attention. Diomed walks away from the flower garden, declaring that his brief interaction with the girl is finally over. The scene shifts as blonde Michael blinks in surprise, holding a large and elegant bouquet of white flowers. Michael asks Jaina if she will accept the flowers, watching her from behind the massive bundle of white petals. Jaina receives the gift while Michael explains the flowers are a symbol of his gratitude for her presence. Michael's face shifts into a look of total surprise as he questions Jaina's reaction to his bouquet. A soft apretar sounds as Jaina nervously clutches her dress, admitting she arranged the flower bundle herself. Michael's shock turns to concern as he notices Jaina's hands are injured from gathering the sharp blossoms. A soft ah sounds as Michael scolds the young girl for hurting herself after his specific warnings. Jaina looks down with a shameful, apologetic expression, feeling bad for causing the blonde boy such distress. Michael remains quiet for a moment, observing the young girl with a complex and deeply questioning gaze. A bright smile lights up Jaina's face as she reacts with unexpected joy, catching Michael completely off guard. Michael stares at the girl in disbelief, mesmerized by the purity and warmth of her rare, genuine happiness. A soft jaja sounds as Jaina giggles playfully, finally showing a glimpse of her youthful and innocent side. A soft pft sounds as Michael looks away with a smirk, finding her unpredictable nature quite amusing. Michael's tone turns serious again as he instructs the young girl to look at him and listen carefully. Michael reveals he is researching paternity magic to force the Tower Master to recognize her as his daughter. Michael explains that she is not yet an official member of the Tower, leaving her without any protection. He clarifies that his current status prevents him from officially helping her unless her legal membership status changes. Michael emphasizes that she needs a powerful father figure to protect her interests in the coming years. Jaina reflects on her origin, noting that she actually finds dragon culture's lack of fatherhood quite appealing. Michael is struck by a wave of confusion, struggling to understand the girl's cold and detached perspective. Jaina explains that dragons are a matriarchal race where the concept of a father holds no importance. A sharp apretar sounds as Michael grips the bouquet tightly, clearly bothered by Jaina's dismissal of family bonds. Jaina continues with a blank expression, stating that she never had anyone to call family to begin with. Narrative text highlights Jaina's internal resolve, showing her deep-seated belief that she only needs herself to survive. Michael stands in heavy silence, his expression darkening as he considers the weight of her lonely words. A soft Voltaire sounds as Michael begins to walk away, his mood souring after their difficult conversation. Michael's frustration boils over as he considers how unnaturally stoic and self-reliant the young girl acts. He thinks she should be crying and lashing out rather than acting as if isolation is normal. A soft sarar sounds as Michael closes his eyes, worried she thinks her own disappearance is inevitable. Jaina watches him with a puzzled look, unable to grasp the reason for his sudden change in temperament. A soft Voltaire sounds as Michael walks away, telling her to do whatever she wants from now on. Jaina stares after him, feeling lost as to why the blonde boy is so easily annoyed by her. A soft Voltaire sounds as Jaina turns to leave, deciding she shouldn't have bothered him at all. Jaina recalls the original novel's prophecy, knowing she is fated to be killed by her own kin. Rhythmic kaminar sounds echo as Jaina walks alone through the cold, empty hallways of the magic tower. A sharp dollar sounds as Jaina rubs her bloodied hands, admitting the physical pain is hard to ignore. Jaina looks down sadly, concluding that avoiding expectations and staying alone is the safest path for her. Visions of a golden cage represent Jaina's fear of being trapped by useless hopes and false security. A rhythmic kaminar sounds as Jaina continues her solitary trek, unaware of a presence watching from afar. A sharp asutars sounds as Jaina is startled by a robed man with glasses appearing suddenly nearby. A low da-dun sounds as the sinister mage notes with glee that Jaina is finally alone. The dark-haired man looms over the small girl, having waited for Michael and Hilvenzia to depart. Jaina stares at the intruder in shock, demanding to know how long he has been following her. A sinister sonrere sounds as the mage claims it is an honor that she recognizes his face. Jaina's expression turns cold and wary, asking the strange man directly what he wants from her. A soft pft sounds as the man chuckles, mocking the girl's curiosity regarding his sudden presence. A sharp apretar sounds as Jaina clenches her fist, sensing that the mage is definitely planning something. A sinister laugh sounds as the man admits he has been anticipating this meeting for a long time. The mage leans in with a terrifyingly dark grin, expressing his desire to speak with her privately. He recalls how Michael and Hilvenzia were always present, acting as barriers between him and the girl. A soft murder sounds as the man bites his thumb, frustrated by the soundproof secrets they kept. A heavy da-dun sounds as the mage demands to know what secret she is hiding within herself. The man towers over Jaina, taunting her with the fact that she can no longer ignore him. Mobin mocks Jaina, calling her an arrogant little dragon, leaving the young girl completely shocked. Rhythmic Kaminar sounds echo as Mobin approaches, asking if she is curious about how he discovered her secret. A quick parar sounds as Jaina stops, hearing Mobin claim he deduced her identity from her cloak. A soft Voltaire sounds while Jaina realizes the cloak her mother left her is recognizable to humans. Mobin reveals he saw the symbol in an old library document, confirming his suspicions about her lineage. A low inclinarse sounds as Mobin leans in, promising not to hurt her if she reveals her secrets. A sharp evadir sounds as Jaina pulls away, denying that Michael or Hilvenzia wanted anything from her. A loud gritar sounds as Mobin loses his temper, screaming that she is a liar and must provide blood. A sharp agarar sounds as Mobin seizes Jaina's arm, desperate to use her for his failing research. A cold observar sounds as Mobin stares into Jaina's eyes, demanding her help to avoid being expelled. Jaina identifies the madness in the mage's gaze and realizes she must find a way to escape. A sharp sakar sounds as Mobin pulls out a syringe, revealing he used a strength spell to hold her. A heavy contraire sounds as Jaina's hidden dragon claw manifests behind her back, ready for a counterattack. A loud whoosh sounds as Jaina strikes with a sudden burst of speed, shouting for the blow to land. A sharp cortar sounds, followed by a wet salpikar as Jaina slashes Mobin's face and flees. Jaina glares back at the wounded man while he curses her for her unexpected and vicious resistance. A heavy kayir sounds as the mage falls back, while Jaina turns to run for her life. A loud huir sounds as Jaina sprints down the hallway, her red cloak fluttering behind her. Pasar sounds echo as Jaina runs, realizing she cannot hide with dark magic during the bright daylight. Jaina recalls Michael's warning about being a valuable ingredient for humans, realizing she cannot trust other mages. Desperate pasar sounds follow as Jaina pants, searching for a safe sanctuary away from everyone. A mental image of the White Garden surfaces as the only place where she might be safe. A quick corer sounds as Jaina hopes Mobin won't be able to idealistic track her into the secret garden. Jaina pushes herself to run faster, repeating to herself that she only needs to go a bit further. A Vanir sounds echo as Jaina reaches the staircase, finally spotting the door to the hidden sanctuary. A sharp agarar sounds as Jaina's hand reaches for the door handle, her heart racing with fear. Jaina prepares to whistle the secret tune, inhaling deeply as she readies herself to enter. A sudden ricardar sounds as Jaina recalls Diomed's cold voice calling her a rat in his garden. The memory of Diomed's threat to make her disappear weighs heavily on her as she hesitates. Jaina stares at the red door, realizing the danger within is just as terrifying as the mage behind. A heavy pasar sounds as Mobin catches up, his voice chillingly announcing that he has found her. Mobin lunges forward with a crazed grin, declaring that she will never be able to escape him again. A massive whoosh sounds as green magical energy erupts, engulfing the hallway in a powerful blast. A loud whoosh sounds as Jaina is struck by the magical force, her expression twisted in pain. A booming boom sounds throughout the magic tower as the explosive confrontation reaches its peak. A soft uff sounds as Mobin pants, satisfied that he has finally captured the elusive dragon girl. A heavy clank sounds as Mobin drags Jaina's limp body, celebrating his successful acquisition of a research ingredient. Jaina lies bound in heavy magical chains, while Mobin vows to make his enemies regret their actions. A rhythmic clank sounds through the empty hallways as the mage moves Jaina to his laboratory. Jaina drifts in and out of consciousness, her body aching from the effects of the mage's magic. A soft clock sounds as Jaina reflects on her past, refusing to let her story end this way. Memories of a previous death surface, showing a bandaged girl lying still in a cold white light. Jaina weeps silently, her resolve hardening as she vows not to let her life be meaningless. Michael's voice echoes in her mind, reminding her that she has the right to choose her path. A sharp observar sounds as Jaina's blue eyes snap open, her spirit refusing to yield to despair. A heavy clank sounds while Jaina realizes Mobin is carrying her, leaving his back completely vulnerable. Mobin complains about her weight, unaware that the girl he thinks is unconscious is watching him. A soft pop sounds as Jaina's black dragon tail manifests, preparing for one final desperate strike. A loud whoosh sounds as Jaina's tail strikes the mage with incredible force, causing him to stumble. A heavy kasair sounds as Mobin collapses with a pained shout, caught completely off guard by his prisoner. Mobin collapses onto the floor with a pained groan, clutching the ground as he struggles to recover. A sharp whip sounds as Mobin looks back in disbelief, stunned that the girl broke his magical chains. A loud whoosh sounds as a sudden magical impact strikes Mobin's face, leaving him dazed and confused. A booming boom sounds through the hallway as other mages look up, startled by the massive nearby disturbance. Rhythmic retumbar sounds echo as the ground shakes, scattering debris across the ornate blue carpet of the tower. Jaina pants heavily, a soft sounding as she looks down, completely drained from her desperate magical outburst. A low da-dun sounds as Jaina stands over the fallen mage, her body still tangled in broken chains. A soft S sounds while Mobin lies defeated, coughing blood as Jaina realizes he won't be rising soon. Jaina gasps for air, a soft ah sounding as she reflects on her urgent need to escape the scene. A soft plop sounds as Jaina's strength fails, leaving her dizzy and reeling from overusing her dragon blood. A soft pinchar sounds as a gloved hand pokes aimlessly at a plate, reflecting a deep, distracted boredom. Michael sits at a dining table, his expression sour as he pokes and moves his food without eating. The atmosphere at the table is stifling, leaving surrounding mages suffering from indigestion and acidity due to the tension. Hilvenzia chides Michael for playing with his food for hours, suggesting he just go look for the girl. Hilvenzia sighs, a soft pft sounding as she recalls Jaina's stubborn claim that she doesn't need anyone's help. Michael reacts with exaggerated annoyance, his face turning red with frustration as he shouts in protest. Michael wonders aloud if Jaina was actually lying about her self-reliance, his gaze turning uncertain and troubled. Hilvenzia gazes out the window, noting that some people are forced into isolation because they have no other choice. A sharp gulpair sounds as Michael slams his fork, calling Hilvenzia an old witch for teasing his obvious concern. A panicked mage rushes into the dining hall, urgently calling for Michael and Hilvenzia to report an incident. Michael's face contorts in fury as he snaps at the messenger for dared interrupting his meal so abruptly. A soft doodar sounds as the purple-haired mage hesitates, visibly trembling under Michael's intense and terrifying gaze. The mage reveals that the girl they were watching over was found battered in the tower's right wing. Michael and Hilvenzia stand in stunned silence, the gravity of the news finally sinking in as they process it. Rhythmic murmurer sounds fill the hallway as a crowd of mages gathers, whispering about the shocking scene ahead. The mages look on with horror, questioning why a small child would be left in such a terrible state. They debate whether to intervene or leave the girl, staring at her feet bound by heavy magical chains. A freckled mage examines the scene, noting the magical residue and bruises that point to a violent kidnapping attempt. Michael shoves through the crowd with a sharp empujar, his blue eyes glowing with a cold, murderous rage. Rhythmic pisar sounds echo as Michael and Hilvenzia stride past the whispering mages toward the fallen girl. Pisar sounds follow as they reach the center of the hall, finding Jaina motionless and bound on the floor. A heavy da-dun sounds as Michael and Hilvenzia tower over Jaina's small, battered form, their expressions darkening. A sharp apretar sounds as Michael clenches his fist, his anger boiling over while he observes her injuries. Hilvenzia lifts the girl as a soft sha sounds, her usual composure replaced by a chillingly calm resolve. A rhythmic dun-dun-dun sounds as Michael's fury peaks, his mind reeling at the sight of her suffering. Violent sha sound, rhythmic temblar sounds shake the entire tower as the surrounding mages panic, fearing Michael's unstable, overwhelming power. Michael stands at the center of the tremors, his protective instincts manifesting as a terrifying storm of magical energy. Helvenzia calls out to Michael, realizing she must snap him out of his rage to save the girl. A sharp reactionar sounds as Michael blinks, focusing as Helvenzia demands he break the chains binding Jaina's body. A soft agacharse sounds as Michael leans down, admitting that dispelling such crude magic isn't his usual specialty. A low vm sounds as Michael places his hand over Jaina, his mana beginning to dissolve the magical restraints. A soft sha sounds, followed by a bright briller as the chains finally shatter under Michael's precise power. A soft vm sounds while the crowd gasps in awe, watching the massive display of light as Jaina is freed. A sharp levantar sounds as Jaina is raised from the floor, her body limp and covered in scratches. Close-ups reveal the severity of the magical attack, showing the bruises and wounds scattered across Jaina's small frame. Michael recalls Jaina's claim of needing no one, his expression softening with a pained, empathetic realization. A sharp apretar sounds as Michael bites his lip, furious that his warnings didn't prevent this horrific outcome. A sharp levantarse sounds as Michael stands, his eyes cold as he declares he is done playing games. A soft volteer sounds as Michael turns to leave, ordering Helvenzia to guard Jaina while he handles the culprit. A soft pisar sounds as Michael and Helvenzia march Jaina toward a confrontation with his cold-hearted father. Rhythmic escribir sounds echo through the room while Diomed sits at his grand desk, focused entirely on his work. A sudden knock-knock sounds as Michael prepares to enter, his presence acknowledged by Diomed's brief, cold permission. Michael bursts into the room with urgency, calling out to the Tower Master to report a dire emergency. Diomed looks up from his scrolls, his blue eyes meeting Michael's with an expression of detached clinical indifference. Michael frantically reveals that Jaina was targeted for kidnapping by a mage who discovered her true identity as a dragon. Diomed responds with chilling apathy, questioning why the fate of a mere dragon girl should concern him at all. A heavy da-dun sounds as Diomed declares dragons inferior, stating he wouldn't care if the young girl died. Michael's protests are sharply cut off as Diomed warns him against letting weak human emotions cloud his better judgment. Diomed turns away, reiterating that the dragon child is not his daughter and dismissing Michael's persistent concern as irrational. A sharp crack sounds as Michael reflects on Jaina's solitude, stunned by his uncle's complete lack of familial empathy. Michael's thoughts linger on the lonely child, his heart breaking for the girl abandoned by her own biological father. Diomed orders Michael to purge all distractions and personal sentiments, his cold voice demanding absolute obedience to the tower. Diomed asserts that compassion and morality are entirely wasted on different species, reinforcing his heartless worldview to his nephew. Michael desperately begs for Jaina's recognition, but Diomed scoffs at the idea, accusing the girl of enchanting Michael's mind. A soft retroceder sounds as Michael recoils from Diomed's menacing gaze, his resolve wavering under the crushing pressure. Diomed reminds Michael that his only duty was to study the creature, noting that he has failed by becoming protective. Silence hangs heavy in the air as Diomed observes Michael's internal struggle, waiting for his absolute submission to tower authority. A sharp levantar sounds as Diomed stands, coldly admitting that he clearly overestimated Michael's mental fortitude and potential. A soft pisar sounds as Diomed walks past his nephew, leaving Michael alone with his boiling frustration and pain. Michael stands frozen in the hallway, the rhythmic pisar sounds of his uncle's footsteps fading into the oppressive silence. Michael clenches his teeth, a sharp apretar sounding as he stops at the door, questioning the tower's rigid, unyielding rules. Michael challenges Diomed, acknowledging his authority but reminding him of their shared past after his own parents were lost. Michael's face contorts with sorrow as he struggles to voice his plea for a father to recognize his child. A haunting realization surfaces that biological bonds should hold more weight than the cold loss of a magic tower. Violent fsh sounds erupt as Michael's mana flares, his emotions finally reaching a breaking point in the darkened room. Michael is suddenly seized by a terrifying force, a soft sounding as Diomed's hand clamps firmly around his throat. A massive slam sounds as Diomed pins Michael against the wall, mockingly asking if he wants to play family. A pained ack sounds while Diomed brings up Michael's father, calling him a fool for dying to save his son. Michael stares in horror as the truth of his father's sacrifice is used as a cruel weapon against him. A booming boom sounds as memories of a past catastrophe resurface, showing a world engulfed in purple magical flames. A soft aparecer sounds as a vision of Michael's father appears, promising to protect his son regardless of the cost. Michael gasps for air, his face pale with shock as Diomed continues to squeeze the life from his neck. A sharp soltar sounds as Diomed finally releases his grip, leaving Michael to slump against the wall in defeat. Rough toser sounds echo as Michael collapses, while Diomed spits one final insult about his nephew's mediocre, sentimental nature. Sounds as Michael gasps for breath, his eyes wide with a mixture of terror and lingering resentment. A sharp golpear sounds as Michael slams his fist into the floor, cursing his own perceived weakness and helplessness. The scene shifts to a quiet room where Jaina lies in a deep, peaceful sleep, unaware of the turmoil. Hilvenzia sits quietly by the bedside, watching over the unconscious girl with a somber and deeply reflective expression. The silver-haired mage remains silent, her mind weighed down by the complex political and moral dilemma Jaina's existence presents. Narrative scrolls describe the harsh punishments for breaking Tower Order, noting that mages often risk everything for their research. Hilvenzia realizes that an ambitious mage likely discovered Jaina's secret and attempted to use her as a mere test subject. Hilvenzia acknowledges her power to punish the rogue mage, yet she hesitates, knowing the consequences of acting without permission. A soft acariciar sounds as Hilvenzia touches the bedsheets, wondering if the Tower Master would ever sanction her intervention. She reflects on the tragic fact that Tower laws only protect members, and Jaina is considered an outsider by all. A soft mover sounds as Jaina stirs, while Hilvenzia realizes she risks her own position if she chooses to protect her. A soft extender sounds as Hilvenzia reaches out, gently telling the sleeping child to rest just a little bit longer. A soft acariciar sounds as Hilvenzia strokes Jaina's hair, her protective instincts finally beginning to override her fear of punishment. A sharp sorprenderse sounds as Hilvenzia's eyes widen, her attention caught by a sudden realization or an unexpected presence nearby. A tragic vision shows Visrice of the Dark Knight clan, who passed away shortly after bringing Jaina into the world. Silver-haired Hilvenzia reflects on how a mysterious voice continues to call for Jaina despite fading memories. A dark thought bubble suggests that the young girl may truly have no one left to trust. While Jaina lies unconscious, a vision reveals her cruel rejection by the father she sought within the tower. Fading light and abstract fragments underscore the certainty that Jaina was deeply wounded by her family's heartless betrayal. Hilvenzia watches over the sleeping girl, musing that childhood scars endure, even as she feels her own age. A sudden knock sounds as a voice announces their arrival, drawing Hilvenzia's attention away from the bedside. A door creaks with a sharp crougier sound as blonde Michael enters the room with a somber expression. Michael stands silently in the doorway, his face shadowed with gravity after closing the door behind him. Michael reports the father's cold indifference, claiming the man believes it would be better if the girl died. Furious, Michael vows to punish those responsible, while a memory shows Jaina lying alone amidst white lilies. Rising with a firm pararse sound, Hilvenzia agrees with Michael's rage, marking a rare moment of shared purpose. Hilvenzia surprises the blonde mage by requesting to handle the retribution against the culprit personally. Rhythmic passos sounds echo as Hilvenzia walks away, asserting her duty to punish those who disrupt Tower Order. A cold mirar sound accompanies Hilvenzia's backward glance, finding the young Jaina to be an increasingly intriguing subject. Hilvenzia resolves to protect Jaina, admitting to herself that her opinion of the girl has shifted significantly. The scene shifts to two mages arguing loudly over a thesis, their conflict highlighting the tower's internal tensions. A sudden golpear sound startles the green-haired mage as a colleague playfully intercepts his attempt to sneak away. Looking disheveled and bandaged, the nervous green-haired man tries to deflect suspicion with a forced, sweating smile. The blonde mage asks if his friend heard about the girl found unconscious and bound in the tower. The green-haired man flinches as he is warned to stay far away from the vengeful Michael and Hilvenzia. A questioning sounds as the blonde mage notes his friend's missing glasses and battered, scratched face. Making a hasty excuse about a failed experiment, the green-haired mage quickly makes his exit to find rest. The blonde researcher watches his friend leave with a bewildered expression, sensing something is deeply wrong. A sharp scrape sounds as the door shuts, leaving the green-haired man alone in the dim, oppressive hallway. Desperate mortar and Templar sounds follow as the man bites his finger, trembling in a panicked, sweating frenzy. He recalls the horrific moment he lost his glasses while Jaina lay bound and unconscious at his feet. Rhythmic Kaminar sounds echo as the man tries to convince himself the girl is a worthless, irrelevant extra. He sneers at the thought of the girl, dismissing her as a mere ingredient for his future experiments. Laughing cruelly, he plots to silence the girl permanently before a sharp pissar sound signals a sudden arrival. An incoherce sound escapes the man as he recoils, sensing a terrifying, cold presence looming directly behind him. A powerful whoosh sounds as Hilvenzia reveals herself, her eyes glowing with a menacing and predatory intent. Paralyzed with an incoherce sound, the man cowers as Hilvenzia's overwhelming magical aura fills the entire corridor. With a cold, triumphant smile, Hilvenzia announces that she has finally tracked down her target with a whoosh. A surgir sound startles the man as magical vines erupt, while he questions Hilvenzia's sudden and aggressive confrontation. A massive whoosh sound resonates through the hall as Hilvenzia's magical power surges and constricts around her victim. A sharp fsh sounds as vines bind the man, who screams in terror as his magic is neutralized. Groaning with arg and sounds, the man struggles against the tightening vines while pinned within a magic circle. Rhythmic sacudirse sounds underscore his futile struggle as Hilvenzia observes his helplessness with a look of absolute disdain. With a cruel sonrare sound, Hilvenzia mocks the man's weakness, asserting that her experience far outmatches his own. From the shadows of his confinement, the man whimpers and pleads for Hilvenzia to grant him forgiveness. Bound by heavy chains, the man begs for mercy while Hilvenzia stands over him like a vengeful goddess. The green-haired man's face is bruised and tear-streaked as he gazes up in absolute terror at his interrogator. Hilvenzia coldly admits to depriving him of sleep and water, mirroring the agony he inflicted upon the child. Her expression remains heartless as she reminds the culprit that Jaina suffered far more pain than this. The man pathetically claims he never intended harm, leaving Hilvenzia paralyzed by the audacity of his blatant lies. Foreboding dun-dun sounds punctuate Hilvenzia's accusation that he would have eventually discarded or killed the girl. A sharp vm sounds as Hilvenzia activates her magic, dismissing his excuses as she has seen his kind before. Rhythmic paso sounds echo as Hilvenzia steps closer, refusing to hear any more of the man's desperate explanations. Hilvenzia reveals his missing glasses, terrifying him with the knowledge that her tracking magic saw every cruel detail. The man begs for his life as Hilvenzia shushes him, planning to extract his cooperation through agonizing means. The silver-haired woman holds an experimental potion she intends to test on a terrified captive within a dark room. A green-haired man trembles in fear, his face sweat-beaded and scratched as he pleads for his life. Promising a recovery potion if things go wrong, she pops the cork with a soft pop sound. As a dark liquid pours, she mocks his hypocrisy while the green-haired man recoils from the splashing substance. The liquid spreads as the man screams in agony, his face cracking under the influence of the cruel experiment. The silver-haired woman smiles coldly at Mobin, suggesting they have some fun amidst the victim's harrowing screams. A massive plume of dark, ominous energy rises into the air, signaling the end of the harrowing trial. Jaina's blue eyes flutter open as a soft blink punctuates her sudden awakening within a dark, empty void. Standing alone in the darkness, Jaina wonders about her location, while strange, glowing sparks drift around her figure. Rhythmic footsteps sound as she walks, recalling her recent collapse from intense pain before finding herself in this place. Despite the surrounding void, Jaina feels nothing, questioning her destination and whether she truly needs to go anywhere. Feeling detached from her past and present, Jaina closes her eyes as her world shatters into sharp glass fragments. A sharp crack echoes through the void while Jaina curls up, wishing she could simply disappear from existence. Resigned to being an irrelevant extra, Jaina is startled by a warm voice calling her a fruit of love. Jaina's eyes widen in surprise as the dark void begins to transition into a new, glowing, ethereal vision. Jaina watches from behind as a brown-haired woman sits on a grand bed, cradling a small newborn baby. The brown-haired woman smiles tenderly at infant Jaina, who reaches out toward her mother's gentle, loving face. Holding the baby close, the woman looks on with deep affection, her expression filled with bittersweet maternal devotion. The infant Jaina coos with bright blue eyes, blissfully unaware of the tragic circumstances surrounding her secret birth. A horned woman with dark hair appears, observing the scene while mentioning a curse from the Demon King. The horned woman, Yearns, scolds the mother's choice, noting the half-blood child has severely shortened her life. The mother coughs blood into her hand, pleading with Yearns to take care of her daughter after she's gone. From her deathbed, the mother expresses her low hopes for clan recognition, begging only for Jaina's continued survival. She asks Yearns to swear on her dragon pride to protect the child, her face pale and bloodstained. Yearns remains silent, her sharp eyes reflecting a complex mixture of coldness and suppressed internal conflict. With a flutter of her cape, Yearns turns to leave as Jaina watches the fading memory of her mother. The infant begins to cry with a loud wah, leaving the dying mother wondering what she should do. Sobbing, the mother clings to the child, admitting that while her life mattered little, Jaina's life means everything. In a final, heartbreaking apology, the mother laments having to leave her precious little girl all alone. The vision begins to vanish, leaving Jaina stunned by the vividness of a memory never mentioned in the novel. Jaina's world crumbles like breaking glass as she stares into the fading light of her mother's final moments. With a sudden swoosh of wind, Jaina falls through the shards, desperate to understand why she sees this.